Okay, so I think that the outline is clear now, and we need to talk about the details. Let's go. So, what is the cause and effect paragraph? It is a paragraph that is talking about the causes and the effects of something. So I have one thing and I want to know what led to this thing and what happened after this thing happened. We are going to see this through an example essay that is going to make this idea clearer for everyone, I hope. Okay? Type. First of all, there are some transitional words that we have to use, and they are very important because they are the ones that are going to tell me if you are talking about the cause or the effect. So, cause and effect structure words are transitional signals which show the cause and the effect relationship. It's important to be clear whether you're talking about the cause, the reason, or the effect. Okay? So let's see some examples to understand more. When I'm speaking about the causes, I usually say things like the first cause of, and then the problem that I'm talking about is, and I talk about the first cause. The next reason is, and then something. Because of, and so on and so forth. Let's read the examples. So, worsening pollution levels in cities are due to the increased use of cars. So, from this sentence, what is the problem and what is the cause? Who can tell me? Anyone?
A problem is worsening pollution, and the cause is due to increased use of cars.
Very good. So the cause of the problem is that people are using so many cars, and this led to the problem, which is worsening pollution levels. Very good. So all of this is clear from the word due to, right? This is the word that makes it clear for the reader that you are talking about a problem and its cause. Okay? Perfect. Let's read the next example. Because of the increased use of cars, pollution levels in cities are worsening. Again, the problem is pollution and the cause is increased use of cars. The same here. As a result of the increased use, the effect of. So, while you are writing your outline or your draft or your essay, you need to use these words so that the reader understands whether you are talking about the cause or the effect. Let's see a similar slide about the effect. So the first effect of something is something. Let's read the examples. Cars are used increasingly for urban transport. As a consequence, pollution levels in cities are worsening. So what is the problem and what is the effect?
The problem is cars being used increasingly,
Perfect.
and the effect is pollution.
Yes, thank you so much, Walid. That's correct. So
Welcome.
here, the effect is the pollution levels are becoming worse. What is the problem? Cars are being used for urban transport. I can also say it in another way. Increased use of cars for urban transport affects pollution. Increased use of cars is one of the causes of worsening pollution levels in the cities. Okay? So they are so easy to use, so simple, but without them, when I am reading your essay, I will be very confused because I wouldn't know whether you are explaining the cause or the effect. So it's very important to use these words to make everything clear. Okay? Type. Let's see an example now of an essay and try to analyze it, see what's good about it, what's bad, how is the analysis done, what is the effects, what are the causes. We want to see everything. Okay? Let's start reading the essay. So I will take it part by part. Nowadays, technology has reached an advanced level of maturity that the capability of imagining and living in a different environment can occur by virtual reality. So, what do we call this sentence? Can anyone tell me? What kind of
Hope.
sentence is this? Ahok, very good. So, when I read this sentence, I am supposed to be attracted or to feel interested to read this essay. as we said before in class several times, this sentence should be general. It is not specific. It's very general. And that's why here the writer or the student is talking about technology. This is an essay written by a student, okay? So it might have some mistakes that we're also going to discuss. So she started by talking about technology in general. Then the next sentence, she is giving us background information. Let's write this down to make everything clear. So this is the hook. And then virtual reality, VR, is an application that is characterized by an environment in blah, blah, blah. The most prevailing applications of virtual reality are games. So now she is starting to show me the focus of this essay, which is games. So in the beginning, she talked about technology, then virtual reality, then games. So all of this is what? These two sentences. What do
Background information.
Excellent. Background information. Very good. So now the reader was interested in the essay through the hook, and then I give the reader more information about the topic through two sentences at least, which we call the background information. Because in the literature review, as you will see the feedback today, I noticed that some introductions were very, very short. They were almost 2 sentences only. It's impossible. You need at least this number of sentences. 1 sentence for the hook, around 2 sentences for the background information, and then the thesis statement, of course. Okay? So the last sentence is the thesis statement. Type. Some of you sent me emails with their narrowed down topics and the introductions, and I noticed that their thesis was about 3 sentences. This is not possible. We cannot do this. The thesis should be only 1 sentence with 1 full stop. So the last sentence of the introduction is the thesis. It is only 1 sentence. In this sentence, what should I find? Who can tell me? What should I
2
find?
causes and their 2 effects.
Excellent. So it's a complete map for the essay. Let's see if this student could do this or not. So the main 2 reasons for this issue, which is the problem explained before, are escaping from problems and stress, as well as satisfying human needs. Consequently, a noticeable effect on teenagers' behavior and health has taken place. Type. From this thesis, what are the causes and what are the effects that the writer is talking about?
Escaping from problems and stress.
Excellent.
The causes.
Excellent. This is the first cause, right?
Yes.
First cause. Excellent. Okay. What is the second cause?
Satisfying human needs.
Satisfying human needs.
Very good. Thank you very much. So this is second cause. Very good. In the same sentence, consequently, a noticeable effect on teenagers' behavior. What is this?
First effect.
Very good. So the first effect is talking about the behavior.
Teenagers' behavior.
Excellent. And the second effect is talking about teenagers' health. Right? Excellent. Type. Is it possible to write a thesis that is focused like this and very organized from the first time? No, it is impossible. In the beginning, your thesis can be messy, it can be confusing, it can be 2 sentences. That's completely normal in the beginning of writing. But then you keep editing and trying to make it as 1 sentence that is very focused. If you notice here in this sentence, we don't have any examples or any details, just the main ideas that are going to be discussed in the rest of the essay. Okay, so by reading the thesis statement, I already know what is body paragraph 1 about, what is body paragraph 2, 3, and 4 about, right?
Right.
Yes.
Very good. So the writer is also expected to follow the same order. So if she talked about stress and problems in the beginning, then this should be body paragraph 1. Body paragraph 2 must be about satisfying human needs, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is a very good example of how the essay is organized in the introduction. If the introduction is clear, automatically everything else is going to be clear. If your thesis is confusing, everything else is going to be confusing, and you will see this in the feedback for the literature review. Okay, let's look at the first body paragraph. What happened? So this should be about the first cause, right?
Yes.
Let's read the first sentence. Firstly, the primary cause of virtual reality games addiction among teenagers is escaping from problems. What kind of sentence is this? What do we call this sentence? The first
sentence.
Excellent. What does it do? What is its job?
It introduces the first idea of your thesis statement.
Excellent. And what about the paragraph? What does it tell me about the paragraph?
It tells me what's gonna include in it.
Excellent. So once I read this sentence, I should know what is this paragraph about. So this paragraph is about the first cause of virtual reality games, which is escaping from problems. Then I start my body paragraph using evidence and examples and the details from the sources. Before I read, if I am now grading this essay, okay? If I am trying to put a mark on it, before I read, I'm going to look at the citation in general. Do you think the citation here is good or bad, right or wrong? What do you think? We are not reading, we are just looking at it.
I guess it should be in brackets, right? Or
which one?
the name, last
Right,
name.
but
Or
here,
does it?
Author is believed.
yes, very good. They are saying she's using a word, contend or believe. So here, the name is part of the sentence. It's like when you say Walid believes. So I'm going to write Walid and then between brackets 2020 and then believes, because here the name of the author is part of the sentence. It cannot be between brackets. Okay?
Okay.
So it's correct. So I have the author's last name, I have the year. So overall, citation is correct. Is she using only one source for the whole paragraph or more than one?
More than one.
Very good. Is this what we want? Yes. And again, this was another problem that I found in some literature reviews. Not most of you, some of you wrote body paragraphs from only one source. This means that there was no synthesis. Remember, we're doing synthesis. We are learning how to synthesize or show relations between different sources. So if I looked at the body paragraph and I found only one name, before reading the body paragraph, I know that it's weak because this writer took information only from one source. Okay? Is this point clear for everyone?
Yes.
Great. Let's see how she's doing it. So Wood 2008 and Leminger 2013 contend that games addicts tend to spend their time playing games in order to escape from the reality that may contain myriad problems and live in another environment evacuated from problems. So what is the relation between the source written by Wood and the source written by Leminger? The relation is that they agree with each other and they add to what each other said. And this is clear because she's using and. In addition, transitional word, playing games is considered as a new way of dealing with stress and escaping from responsibilities. And then the citation. So she added another example and then cited. What is this citation? What does it mean? A name as cited in Wood. Do you remember? We said it in class. Does anyone
Yes, double
remember?
citation.
Excellent. Second-hand citation. So she has the article written by Wood.
By Wood, and
Very
somebody
good.
in Wood's article was cited.
Excellent, very good. So she mentions the second-hand citation and then she says as cited in Wood. Very good. Let's continue. She is giving us more explanation and more examples about the first cause, which is escaping from problems. As evidence, A teenager was exposed daily to bullying by his classmates in the school, that he thought that the only way to deal with this issue is playing games until he unfortunately got addicted. This sentence is very, very important because now she is giving me detailed examples. And this is what the body paragraph should be doing. It should give me details, not just general ideas. Okay? Then, parents in these cases should care about their children more and teach them the appropriate way to deal with such issues. Wood and Griffins believe that games addicts may spend time playing games that help them to get relaxed, as the only challenge they face is leveling up. In this way, teenagers escape from problems and responsibilities that may be academic and tend to play virtual games to change their reality till they get addicted to it. Guys, what is the last sentence? What do we call this sentence?
Concluding sentence.
Very good. Concluding sentence. So the body paragraph is like a sandwich. It starts with the topic sentence and ends with the concluding sentence. The middle contains evidence, examples, support, synthesis, citation, all of this. So the writer promised me in the beginning to talk about escaping from problems through addiction. Do you think that her paragraph is convincing? Did she give us enough evidence and details to believe that this is one of the causes or not?
Yes.
How do you evaluate this paragraph? It's good or bad?
Give evidence and examples.
Very good. So you believe her. You feel
Yes.
like it's credible. Very good. Because there's lots of evidence and because there's citation. Because if we don't have citation and she keeps saying this, I will not believe her. It will not be credible because she is not an expert in the topic. Okay? I don't want you to focus on the details of the ideas themselves. I want you to focus on the structure of the essay and how it is organized. This is what we care about the most. So the next 3 paragraphs are going to follow the exact same structure. The only difference is going to be the ideas. So let's see how this happens. Again, secondly, so this word tells me that she's talking about the second cause. Another reason why teenagers got addicted to virtual reality games is their endeavor to satisfy their human needs. Let's go back to the thesis statement to check. Was this the second cause? Yes. So is she following the same order and organization of the thesis? Yes. So this means that this essay is organized. Okay, so this sentence, as we mentioned earlier, is the topic sentence. So it tells me that this paragraph is about the teenagers trying to satisfy their human needs. This word is very general. I don't understand it. So this paragraph must explain to me what does she mean by human needs, because it's not understandable. Before I read, I look at citation. Can you find citation? Yes. Does it include the last name? Yes. Does it include the year? Yes. Is she using only one source or more than one source? No, definitely more. So is there synthesis? Yes. All of this I noticed before even reading the paragraph. So when you are writing, make sure that these things are very, very clear. Let's see what she's saying. 1 and 2 claim that according to the humanistic psychology, the one's action and activities depend only on his inner motivation. Of course, we can notice some language errors, but they are small errors. So they might make her lose some marks, but they don't affect our understanding. So it's okay. According to Maslow and Suller, addiction to virtual reality games is due to the attempt of the teenager to appease his human needs, which are the originators of his motivation, as cited in 1 and 2. Okay, in other words, this virtual environment that the gamer plays in offers for him the feelings of self-recognition and self-esteem as he is keeping leveling up in the game. This part was very important because she explained to me what does she mean by satisfy their human needs, because it was not clear at all in the topic sentence. After she explained, now she should give more examples and more evidence. In addition, scoring continuously high progress and reaching unbeatable levels feed blah, blah, blah. Moreover, it is indicated by another source that is adding to the other sources. So Let's move on to the last sentence. Therefore, VR games became their shelter that increased their self-esteem and their self-confidence. So this is the concluding sentence that she ended her paragraph with. Okay, so again, she's following the same structure. Start with a topic sentence, end with a concluding sentence. In the middle, I have synthesis, I have citation, I have several sources, I have examples, evidence, everything is clear. Okay, so now she talked about the first cause in body paragraph 1, the second cause in body paragraph 2. So body paragraph 3 should be about
The first effect.
very good. The first effect. Let's see. So it starts with unfortunately. Unfortunately, virtual reality games addiction among teenagers affected their behavior. So in the topic sentence, does she tell me that she's talking about the effects? Yes. Which effect? Behavior. Is this the first effect that she told me about in the thesis? Let's check. Yes. Very good. So this means that this paragraph is following the thesis. Type. There's something that I noticed now before reading. Look at this paragraph and this paragraph. Are they the same length, or one of them is much longer than the other one?
One of them is longer.
Yeah, so of course it's very difficult to have exactly the same number of words, but it's important that the body length is balanced. So try to make them the same length. But if we look here, this is much, much longer than this one. This means that this idea was not supported as much as the previous idea. Okay, type. So she gave us the topic sentence. She's telling us that she's going to talk about the effect. Let's look at the important things. Is there citation? Yes. Using
Yes.
more than one source? Yes.
Yes.
Mentioning the last names? Yes.
Yes.
Mentioning the year? Do we have a concluding sentence? Yes.
Yes.
Very good. So what's in the middle is the ideas, the support, the details, but the main factors, the main things are there, they exist. Let's see how she supports this effect and how she explains it. Wood and Zamanti, utal. What's utal? Can someone tell me, when do we use this?
When we have more than 6 sources
Very good. How did you know this? From the BUE
from
style
the BOE style sheet.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So they claimed it's very important to use these signal phrases and action verbs, as we said before in class, because they make synthesis stronger, right? So that the parents of addicted teenagers observed that their behavior changes in a negative way as their behavior became aggressive and violent. This aggressive behavior, she should say behavior, effect happens during playing violent games, and surprisingly teenagers lose their control and their aggressive attitude remains. And then she keeps explaining. Okay. In consequence, teenagers' social skills were affected due to the animosity in their attitude. Also, teenagers tend to be isolated as their means of entertainment became staying for many hours playing video games. Without doubt, spending hours playing virtual reality games will not only affect the teenagers' behavior, but also affect their academic achievement and grades. Type. What's very good about this paragraph is that she's using lots of transitional words like in consequence also. But I feel like this paragraph lacks support. There is support, but it's not enough. We needed more support. Maybe statistics about the number of teenagers that had their behavior become changed because of VR. So I understand the idea, but I'm not 100% convinced. She didn't convince me. The paragraph is short and the support was not enough. So although her causes paragraphs were very, very good, the effect paragraph is still good, but it's not very strong. There are some weaknesses. Let's see what happens in the last body paragraph. This should be about?
Second effect.
Very, very good. The second effect. So let's look at the topic sentence. Virtual reality games, she is reminding us of the problem, which is very important because by now I'm reading the fourth body paragraph. I already forgot what the problem was. So in her topic sentence, she reminds me again of what the problem was and she links it to the effect, which is very good. Virtual reality games addiction among teenagers has also led to physical and mental health problems. Let's look at the thesis and see if this was mentioned or not. And health. Okay, so in the thesis, she just said health, and here she says physical and mental health. What do you think about this?
She narrowed down the health, she said health as general in the thesis, but here she narrowed it down to specific health problems.
And do you think this was a good idea?
No, because it will confuse the reader.
Very good. And what else? The first effect is about behavior. Behavior can be under health in some way, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah. So,
a bit.
Just tell me.
It's like a bit, but not that much as a
Yeah.
behavior.
Very
Yes, like behavior isn't like anger issues, and it's also in mental health problems.
Excellent. Very good. I agree with you. So maybe it would have been better if she made the first paragraph about effect, about physical health problems, and the second one about mental health problems, right? This would have been more organized. Also, it's impossible to talk about physical and mental health in one paragraph, because 100% the paragraph would be very weak. She cannot talk about the 2 points in this short paragraph. So this decision, I don't think it was a good decision. It could have been better, right?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
However, the topic sentence is clear, but now I have some doubts. I am reading the paragraph, but I have some doubts on how she is going to support this. Let's see what she did. So, Wood 2008 and Zamani et al. Stated that there are numerous health problems such as anxiety, attention effects, obesity, depression, sleep disorders. Now, this is very confusing because, again, she's just saying health. She is not saying now whether it's physical or mental. So I don't even know what type of health problems is she talking about. So now I got more confused. According to Zamani et al., tension and worrisome that the player feels during the game affected the nervous system in the long term, as this resulted high sensitivity in the nervous system. Additionally, many studies highlighted the consequence of the anxiety and excitement, so on and so forth. Chu asserts that due to playing too much virtual games, reality have an influence on the mental side, as the gamers are exposed to illusion and reality confusion. Besides, due to the fact of playing VR games for long hours, teenagers' physical activity decreased, thus teenagers are exposed to obesity. The percentage of teenagers who suffer from sleep disorders resulted from anxiety is 19%, while obesity is 10%. Okay, tell me your opinions. What do you think about the paragraph?
It's distracting.
Very good. Why?
Because she's just stating health facts or health issues without linking it to the main problem.
Yes.
Or something like this.
Very good. And it's too much going on. She's talking about too many things. The
Yes.
only detail was at the end.
The statistical detail is the most important and useful one.
Yes, and it was mentioned at the very end, but in the middle, it's repetition. She's repeating the same things, and she doesn't know whether to talk about physical or mental. There's too much things going on. Someone else was trying to say something. I couldn't hear you. Who was talking?
Too long.
It's too long?
It's too long. Yes.
Why?
She cited it could be like we can cite the same author 2 times.
No, who said so?
Because she cited here 2 times the same person.
I get your point. I'm checking again, but that's fine. There's no problem because there are other sources mentioned in the middle, like Wood and like Chu. So she is doing synthesis, but I agree with you that most of her paragraph is from the source written by Zamani. This is what you mean, right?
Yes.
Yes, of course. But it's okay to cite more than once. There's no problem to cite the same source more than once, but there should be diversity. I agree with you. Type. So if you are evaluating this source, this paragraph now, she has a topic sentence and she has a concluding sentence, right? she has synthesis, she has citation, but the ideas are confusing. There's too much going on. There's not enough support. So I cannot say that it's a bad paragraph, but it's definitely very, very weak. Not like the paragraph about the causes. So we can conclude that her 2 paragraphs about the causes were much better than the paragraphs about the
effects.
Very good. And this is going, of course, to affect the grade. And we are going to look at the rubric once we finish this. Okay, so let's now look at the conclusion. So in conclusion, virtual reality games addiction among teenagers is a serious issue that parents should concern about. Now she did a drastic problem. What is the problem? Who can tell me?
Virtual reality games addiction.
No,
Teenager.
something else. What do we start? Yes, Khalid.
The parents' concern about their kids.
Another problem. What should we start the conclusion with? What should be the
Thesis
first
statement.
Very good.
Restate the thesis statement.
Excellent. Yes. Then, so the student should have restated the thesis statement. Did she do that here?
No.
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 So this is a huge mistake. Let's see if she does it later on. Unfortunately, behavioral effects and health problems resulted from addiction to games that was caused due to escaping from problems and satisfying human needs. So she's trying to summarize everything, but this is not correct. Before the summarizing, here the first sentence should be
the last one.
The thesis
Yes.
statement. It should be the first sentence of your conclusion. So the thesis comes as the last sentence in the introduction and the first sentence as in the conclusion. Very good. Then she tried at the end, parents should also teach their children how to manage their time. She tried to offer a solution. It's okay. It's not a must. If you do this, that's fine. But here I have a problem because she did not paraphrase her thesis and she did not offer me a good summary, and instead she's offering a solution. So if you're going to suggest a solution, that's okay, but first cover the important points. So what is your evaluation of the conclusion?
It is not as good as the introduction.
Yes, you feel like you're disappointed, right? Very good. I'm very happy that you could see this to avoid making these mistakes. So when I read the introduction, I expected the conclusion to be focused, to the point, detailed, structured. But when I look at this conclusion, it is very disappointing. There is no summary. There is no restating the thesis statement. So I don't think that the conclusion is as good as the rest of the essay. Okay? So this essay structurally is almost 100% good, except for this mistake in the conclusion. So if you want to use it as an example for the structure, you can definitely do that. But I didn't want to show you an essay that was perfect. I wanted to show you an essay that was written by one of your colleagues last semester, so that you can see the mistakes that an A student can make. Okay? Fine. Let's have a look at this checklist that I also want you to use while you are writing to check whether you have problems or not. So, is this essay a cause and effect essay? Did she talk about the 2 causes and the 2 effects? Yes. She is using the block structure, which means
yes.
I talk about each idea in one paragraph. Did she do that? Yes. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Cause and effect structure words are used accurately. Did she use these words that we talked about in the beginning? Yes.
Not really.
Why?
Only the health one, the second effect,
okay.
drifted away.
So you feel like it needed to be more words needed to be used. I agree with you. Okay. Does the essay have a clear thesis statement?
Yes.
Yes, but it was not restated.
The introduction only.
Very good. It was not restated in the conclusion, and that's a problem. Type. Does each paragraph have a clear topic sentence?
Yes, except the second effect paragraph.
Not of them.
Not all of them. Some topic sentences were good, while other topic sentences were not good, right?
Yes.
Yes. So I can say that each paragraph had a topic sentence, but not all of them were clear,
Clear.
right? Very good.
Yes.
Yes. Right. The essay has strong support, facts, reasons, examples.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not. She did effort.
There, yes, but the effort did not continue. I think she got tired. So after writing the
Yes.
introduction and the first two causes, maybe she got tired. So the effects and the conclusion were not as good. So in some places she had strong support, but in other places the support was not strong at all. It includes a summary of the main points.
No.
No.
It's
She tried, but she didn't succeed, right?
yes.
Right. Before I move on to anything else, does anyone have any questions related to this PowerPoint or this essay? Please don't stay silent and ask me the questions if you have them.
Yeah, like I have two questions.
That's correct.
So the causes looks like one cause, and I want to do that, but I can't. Like, I feel I'm writing about the same thing. Like, what I'm writing about is unemployment and artificial intelligence and wars, like two different things.
Okay.
How to write two causes in like one main thing? Do you understand me?
No. Try again. So
Like-
you feel like your causes cannot be linked?
Yeah, I don't feel they are linked. Like here, it's all about gaming and virtual reality. So I can't do that. Like, is there something I can link between the two of them?
The two causes should not
Yeah.
be linked. It's okay if they are not linked, but the two of them must be linked to the problem. So
Yeah,
here,
okay.
the problem is VR games. So escaping from problems and stress is related to VR games. Satisfying human needs is related to VR games. But both of them are not related to each other. So if you feel like your two causes are not connected, no problem. But if you feel like they are not connected to the problem, that's an issue that you should work on.
Yeah, it's okay. No, it's like connected to the problem, but I couldn't make the two causes connected.
It's not a must at all. They can be different from one another. That's completely fine.
Okay.
Okay. What was your second question?
My second question was like more of a problem. Like I originally wanted to write about the same thing, but I couldn't find any sources at all, like that talks about what I need. Like all it talked about is mental health problems from VR as PTSD and anxiety, but not like this.
Yes.
I'm having a problem with sources.
Okay, right. I wrote this down and we're going to discuss it together at the end of the session, okay?
Okay.
Who else has any questions related to this essay, the structure, the organization, anything? No one? It's clear? Right. I'm very happy. I'm going to email this to you after, right after we finish. I'm going to email you the PowerPoint. Just one last thing that I want to show you is the rubric. You know what's the rubric, right?
Yes.
Yes, the grading system.
Yes, I already uploaded it on e-learning. I am not sure if you all checked it or not, but I just want to have a quick look at it with you, just to make sure that you all see it. Okay, just a minute. I'm sharing it. Okay, can you all see it?
Yes.
Right. While you are writing, I need you to have this in front of you at all times, because when I give you a grade on your essay, it will not be based on my own personal liking, whether I like your essay or not. It's based on this. This is the tool I use to give you grades, and you will also see it in the literature review, because I use this to give you grades on the literature review. So today evening, inshallah, you can open Turnitin and you will see your grades on the rubric on the literature review. Right. What does this rubric assess? It assesses several points. The first point is the task achievement. Overall, did you achieve the task or not? So in order to get a 4 to 5, which is very difficult, most people would get a 2 to 3. What should you do? The writer should exceed expectation in terms of clarity and that the assignment is appropriate and that you fulfill the purpose. You should have clear thesis, clear introduction, body paragraph, conclusion, reference page, all of these things. This was another issue that I noticed in the literature review. Some people did not have a reference page, and we will have another session talking about citation, but I'm just reminding you. Okay, type. After I look at your overall task achievement, usually I give you the grade on the task achievement at the end. But I don't start with it. I start with the introduction and then I go back to the task achievement at the end. Type. What should you do in the introduction? Frame the topic and the writer's stance, your opinion. Identifies and focuses the topic clearly and is appropriately specific. The thesis asserts a defensible, thought-provoking claim and has a clear, well-written main idea. The introduction has all of these components. Type. This means that if you have a very good introduction and you don't have a thesis statement, you will never get a high grade because the thesis statement is written in the rubric. Okay? Type. After I look at your introduction, I look at your body paragraphs. When we remember the essay that we were just reading, when I was grading this essay, I had a problem because there were 2 body paragraphs that were very good and 2 body paragraphs that were weak. So, of course, I cannot give her a high grade because there are body paragraphs that are weak. So try to make sure that all your body paragraphs have ideas that are coherently and logically organized with well-developed paragraphs and effective transitions. You have clear progression of ideas that develops points through well-connected sentences. Okay? Then the synthesis. So those of you who wouldn't do synthesis at all, you will lose 5 marks because it's there in the rubric. So I cannot give you these grades if there is no synthesis. Type. How can we get a high grade in synthesis? Let's see. To include analysis, synthesis, interpretation, and or other critical manipulation of ideas throughout. So if you decide to just take quotations, can I give you the mark for the synthesis? Of course not, because in order to do analysis, you have to paraphrase, you have to comment on the information you are getting from the sources. All evidence and examples are effective, specific, and relevant. Integration of ideas, the authors or the ideas of others, is accomplished in novel and creative ways. At least 2 sources are cited in each body paragraph. So you are using more than 1 source, but you are not just throwing them in the paragraph. No, they are part of the paragraph itself. Okay? Type. After I finish this, I move to the conclusion. So a summary of the main points is clearly expressed, linked to the introduction. How could it be linked to the introduction? By restating the thesis statement.
Thesis statement.
Very good. And then we have 10 marks on language, 5 and 5. So it's very, very, very important that before you submit your essay, you revise it, you proofread it. You can try to use any tools if you like to check for grammar and make sure that all the sentences are clear, that it's formal, there's nothing informal, that there's punctuation and spelling. You have to revise all of this to avoid losing marks in this area. And then documentation of sources. The required numbers of sources are used. If yes, you get the mark. All sources are credible and reliable sources, and the sources are documented following APA. Be careful. If you just have in-text citation and no reference list, it's a 0. If you have a reference list and no in-text citation, it's a 0. So all the sources that appear in your in-text citation must appear in your reference list. Okay?
Reference list.
Yes. So keep this rubric in front of you because this is the guide. This is what I use to give you the marks. So if you want to get a certain grade, just highlight the band, whether you are targeting 2 to 3, 4 to 5, 1, whatever, and make sure that you follow this description. If your essay follows this description, automatically you get this grade. Okay? Okay. So does anyone have any questions? Is anyone confused about anything about the structure of the cause and effect essay? Please let me know.
Doctor,
Yes, dear.
can I include in the essay more than 6 sources?
Yes, but I don't want you to over confuse yourself. Yani if you really need to get a 7th source, that's fine. But don't overload yourself with sources, because again, it's not about the sources, it's about you, right? But it's okay, but I don't recommend it, because it will take more work and more effort from you.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions about the cause and effect essay structure? Does anyone have anything confusing? Type. So I'm expecting you all in this stage to start working on your outline. I'm going to create a template for the outline, and I will try to send it to you maximum by tomorrow or today, so that you can start filling it in. Do we all know what is an outline?
Yes.
Yes. So I don't want you
Yes.
to start writing the details, but at least to know what each paragraph is going to talk about. Where are you going to get this information from which sources? I'm going to work on this template and try to make it as organized and clear as possible, and I will share it with you right away after we finish, so that you can start working on the outline. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you all for attending today. If you still have any questions related to the sources or anything, please stay. If not, you may go, because I'm going to answer questions related to the sources if someone have any questions. Thank you all, and please take care of yourselves, okay?
Thank you for your time. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. I'll see you
Thank
soon.
you, Doctor.
Keep up the good work.
Okay.
Okay, Salah, so tell me, what keywords have you been using to find the sources?
I used artificial intelligence like at the first square,
Okay.
and I used the and square and wrote virtual reality. And third square, I used threads and threads.
What do you mean square?
Like there's like a space for the first thing I write, and there's like and beneath it.
Where do you
and,
search?
BUE library.
Have you tried Google Scholar?
Yeah, like there's good articles, but with no access, like I have to pay for them or something.
Really? All of them?
Yeah, not all of them, but like the good of them.
Okay, but there is a very good trick for that. I don't know if you have tried it. Whenever you find a good source on Google Scholar, you can try to access it through the BUE library.
Like I copy and paste the article name?
No, you try to know the database. Do you have any of these sources? Can you access any of them now? Or do you know where are they?
No, but like some of the websites, like I saw that needs to be accessed.
Yes.
They are like supported by the BUE library. Like I've seen them before in the BUE.
Yes. Okay. Can you see my screen? I'm sharing my screen. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say that I find GStore artificial intelligence. Okay. I found something on GStore. Okay. For example. Okay. You know what's GStore?
No, not really.
Okay, it's a journal, and it's not for free. Okay.
Okay.
So let's see. If I read online free, sometimes this is not available. So I want to access this. So I go to the BUE library, okay, and I click on the menu, okay, and then e-sources, and then online databases. Are you following?
Yeah.
Okay, and then here they are alphabetically organized. So I'm looking for what? GStore, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to click on the J, and here I find GStore.
Oh.
And I'm going to go back to Google Scholar, copy the article's name, because now I have access, right? And then search for it. and then you can download it.
Oh, that would help me a lot. Like all of the articles, like I wanted to download, I couldn't because of this.
Right. No, because I cannot promise you that all the things that you found will be available through BUE library. But to be honest, there's a lot.
Yeah, like there's a lot of databases I found on Google Scholar, and they are available in BUE library, but I couldn't do that.
Can you try? Did you know how I do it, or you would like me to show you again?
Yeah. I know now.
Okay, so you go to the BUE library, you go to the online databases, and you find the database, copy the article name, and try. Please keep me posted, like email me and let me know how is it going, and if you still couldn't find the sources, I can help you with that.
Okay, so if I did find the sources on what I needed to write at first, can I change them?
Okay, this is a very complicated issue, because what you wanted to write, this means that where did you get this idea from?
I wrote about them like online and like from Elon Musk and Stephen Hawking, but I couldn't find like an academic article that talks about the same thing.
Right. To be honest with you, there is an academic article for any topic in the world. So whatever you want to talk about, there is definitely an article. But for the sake of this assignment, your main purpose is not to write about something specific. We are giving you space. So try to make a balance between what you want to say and the sources that you find. Do you get me? Try to be flexible. Find a middle ground.
Yeah, okay.
Don't make it so difficult for yourself that I have to find a source about this specific idea. If I find it, okay. If I find a similar idea, you can still say what you want in the support, in the conclusion, but don't make it so difficult for yourself.
Okay.
Okay, try again with the tool I showed you now, and if it still didn't work, let me know by email, and I can help you find the sources you need, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Best of luck, you're most welcome. Does anyone else have any questions?
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Do I have to use or like cite the 6 sources, all of them?
Of course.
Or can? Okay. But there is something that I really found difficult was finding the exact thing that I wanted to talk about. So in AI, I wanted to talk about how AI can help us and a lot of data. But when I went to Google Scholar, I found it really hard to find one source. And like the one source that I found was like about that technology, and it had a lot of information and graphs. I didn't really understand it, so I didn't take it. And I went and found something else that I didn't want to talk about, but it served the purpose. So can I, if later I found a better source, or I found a source that I wanted, can I change it, or just add it as a 7th source?
Yes, definitely you can, but just make sure that the new source that you find is academic. If you need to share it with me, go ahead and do that. If you already know it's academic, then fine. But I'm very happy that you decided to just find something to fill the purpose and start working. I think that this is a good plan. However, try to keep changing your keywords. Maybe when you change the keywords, you will find what you need. So for example, instead of AI, write robots. Instead of e-waste, write electronic waste. Things like that. Change the words. The results change when you change the words.
Okay.
Okay, and let me know if you need help. So if you are looking for something specific, email it to me. I can try to help you and find some sources with you and suggest. So if you still cannot find it, try to send it to me by email, and I can let me see if I can help or not.
Okay.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions?
Yes, I have one question.
Yes, Ahmad.
For every source, we need at least 6 reference.
What?
I mean, for every idea, we need for at least 6 reference.
No, honey, you need 6 references in total, in general, for the whole essay.
Huh? Okay.
So the whole essay, you are using 6 sources, okay? In each body paragraph, try to at least use 2 sources, 2 or 3 to have synthesis, but 6 sources for the whole essay. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, John.
Can I use only 4 sources?
No. How come? It's impossible. How are you going to use only 4 sources to talk about 4 new ideas?
I used 2 causes and 2 effects, and for each one I used a source.
You cannot do this, and this is what we are. I don't know if you joined the lesson while we are doing the PowerPoint presentation or not, but we were just saying that in each body paragraph, you must be doing synthesis. In order to do synthesis, you need minimum 2 sources, right?
Okay.
Or else you are just copying information from the source. No, where is your role? Your role is to show me the relation between the sources and to comment and analyze. In order to analyze, you need minimum 2 sources. So what you did now is a very good start. But it's a start that you still need to build on.
Okay. How many paragraphs are the minimum?
Did you join the session from the beginning?
Yes.
Did you see the essay that we were discussing?
It's 4 paragraphs.
That's 4 body paragraphs. So
4 body paragraphs plus the introduction and conclusion.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Each body paragraph discusses one idea. Cause 1, cause 2, effect 1, effect 2.
Oh, yeah. Okay. In my essay, I joined in each body paragraph. I joined the cause and effect in each paragraph.
You used point by point structure type.
I can't hear you.
You used a point by point structure, not block structure.
Yes.
Type. Can you share with me your outline? Because I don't recommend using this because it's much more difficult, but it's not wrong. It's okay. But it might be much more difficult. But can you please try to create an outline for your essay and share it with me so that we can decide together? If you manage to do it and it was clear, I don't have a problem. But it might make you do much more mistakes.
Okay.
You get my point?
Yes.
Try to create an outline, share it with me, and let's make a decision together on email.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions? Any concerns?
Can I?
Yes, Mahmoud.
I can't open a source from IEEE. I don't know why. I must sign in from something. I don't know.
What is the source called? Is it logged? You try to look for
Not logged, but it is, all the articles from IEEE. I can't access them. I don't know why. I open one for one time, and the second time it redirect me somewhere else.
Type. I don't have experience with trying to access anything from them. So can you email me the link and I'm going to try. If it worked, I will tell you. If it didn't, maybe you should try to find an alternative.
I already sent it to you.
No, but send me again and remind me of the problem. I do have some emails that I'm going to respond to verify the sources, but remind me of this problem and send me the link so that I can try to help you or try to find this article on another database and see if I can help or not.
Okay, if you are going to check your email, I mentioned the problem also in my email.
Yeah, then I'm going to respond today because I still have some emails remaining that I'm going to respond to today. So if this is the case, you will find my reply soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? Anything confused you? Yes,
is this is going to be like the rich review, so I can't really express my opinion, or I have more room to put my opinion. As the literature review will just, I have 4 sources, I have to cite the 4 sources. If I say anything, it must be backed up by the sources. I don't really have my opinion, and I can't write it. Is that the same thing in this essay?
Right. I want to know first, what do you mean by opinion? Yani, how would we define the word opinion?
Like مثلا in like conclusion I put a solution, or in the introduction I put some background that is not backed down by my 6 sources, or something like that. Or like say something that the sources say that it's good, and then in my opinion, in like a body paragraph, I say I don't think it's really that good. Something like that. Is that
like I think that you're confused between 2 things. You are definitely encouraged and required to add your voice as a writer, to comment on the information you are putting, to analyze it. It's a must that you do this. However, because this is academic writing, you are not allowed to say, in my opinion, blah, blah, blah. Because in fact, everything in the essay is your opinion, right? You are the one who chose the problem. You are the one who chose the ideas. Sorry, honey?
But it's not really my opinion, because it's all information I gathered from sources.
But you are selecting this information in a way to draw a certain picture. Yani, for example, if I want to tell you something about Egypt, and I choose to say that Egyptians are poor, can we say that I just got this information from a source? I chose this piece of information. I could have said that Egypt has a big history, or the Egyptians are friendly. So by selecting certain things to highlight, you are saying your opinion indirectly. And after you say this, you should analyze it and explain it and comment on it. If you want to comment, definitely you have to. But comment without saying, in my opinion. Just say what you
just like an analyze or interfere
exactly
from the information.
Yes, you definitely can do this, as long as you are providing me with enough information cited by sources and proven by science and all of this. You can definitely do this after you say it at the end of the paragraph. However, this has been debated about in blah blah blah. Of course, you should do this. I want to hear your voice as a writer inside the essay. But try to do it in a formal way, not in an informal way.
Okay.
Is it clear or still confusing? Right. If you want to try to do it in a paragraph and share it with me, please go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Okay, that's great. Does anyone else have any questions? Anything confusing? Is everything clear? Right, I'm glad. Okay, thank you all for attending. Please feel free to email me whenever you need to. If there is anything confusing, you need help, feel free to email me, okay?
Doctor.
Yes, Yusuf.
I have a problem with my sources.
What's the problem?
He told me that it's very general, so I will hard to find an evidence, yani.
Yes.
It will be hard to find an evidence.
I'm confused. So you have a problem with your sources or with your ideas?
No, with my sources.
The sources are general? No, I think I told you about the
Yes.
ideas, that they are general.
Yes.
I don't understand the problem.
I have the sources that I wrote. You told me that it's very general, so it will be hard to find an evidence.
Okay.
For it, from the sources.
Yes, and you could find an evidence or not? Type. Can you share with me your outline? Do you know what's an outline?
No.
I'm going to send a template today, a Word document for the outline template. Try to fill it in, and it will show you and me if really the ideas are too general or not. يعني wait.
Okay.
wait till the next step we are going to take now, and this will help you decide. Should you narrow down more, or is it general?
Okay.
Okay? Is it clear, or you're still confused?
No, it's clear.
Right, very good. Thank you so much for your question. Anyone else? Okay then, so have a good day. I will send you an email, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.